Seeing Luli was very excited. The two sat down for a while, and he couldn't help asking Stephen. "Steve, do you have no latest news about the chief of Sten?" Luli smiled helplessly. "Not yet, but I have sent someone to check it. I believe there will be results soon." "Hey, okay, I can only wait." When it comes to Sten, both began to be silent. At this moment, there was a footsteps from outside the door. As soon as Luli turned his head, he saw Zhang Yuge walk in. "Do you get it so soon?" Luli asked, curiously. "There is no way, this village is too small, and I turn around for a while." Zhang Yuge answered truthfully. "Okay, sit down, I tell you something." After Zhang Yuge took the seat, the three began to talk. "Today I called the two of you, and I plan to discuss the future development of Huangsha village together. Both of you are my most trusted subordinates, so I will entrust this matter to you." Luli cleared his throat and took the lead. Turner and Zhang Yuge heard their words, both sitting in danger and seriously. "Don't be so nervous about the two of you, this task is not as difficult as you think." Speaking, Luli talked about his plan. "First of all, we need to expand the village's territory. Within 6 months, it will be at least 10 times. Secondly, it is to solve the problem of food. You also know that there are a bunch of monster warriors on the oasis, all of them are big stomach kings, coupled with thousands of people in Huangsha village, the daily food consumption is not enough. So we must recover more farms and land, not only to ensure daily supply and consumption, it is best to have rich room. I have counted it. Huangsha village and oasis have about 300 farmland, which can be harvested once in 5 days. Within 3 months, I hope this number can be tens of times. So the food produced is almost enough to consume every daily." Hearing Luli's goal, Turner sitting opposite him was shocked. "Steve, I know it is the time to develop. But, we are so many people in total, are you doing such a big battle, is it too irrational?" Luli's plan is a bit overaggressive to Turner. "How can it be so large-scale expansion in a short time?" Hearing Turner's concerns, Luli didn't care. He pointed to Zhang Yuge. "What is panic, there is this kid, nothing is impossible. If you have any dirty work, give it to him. Don't give him a special preferential treatment because he brings it, let go, just use this kid as a cow and horse." Hearing Luli's words, Turner was a little embarrassed. He couldn't understand what Nyoma meant. Seeing that Tenna was blank, Luli had to explain to him. After listening, he suddenly realized. Zhang Yuge on the side was not too surprised. He even felt that Luli's plan was too conservative. As early as he inspected the nearby terrain, a magnificent plan appeared in his mind. It's just that he didn't say it in a hurry. Zhang Yuge intends to surprise Luli in the future. As for Luli scolding him, he was not at the heart. Compared with the pig people, the word Nyoma looks much friendly. After some discussions, the specific development plan of Huangsha village has been formulated in the future. As soon as the meeting ended, Zhang Yuge couldn't wait to pull Turner to leave. This guy is really anxious. Luli couldn't help but lament the architect's motivation. The task has been arranged, and he will rely on himself. Since moving to the desert, Luli hasn't met for a while. I don't know how the mother is now. Luli got up and left the hut, ready to visit. But when he came to his mother's residence, he found that there was no one here. Luli was a little worried that he walked through a villager by the road. He quickly stopped the other party. "Hello, have you seen my mother?" When the villagers saw Luli, they pointed at him with a smile. Luli thanked the other party and hurried towards the man's finger. Through the villagers' huts, Luli came to the collective farmland of the village. Many villagers were working on the ground, and everyone said and laughed, and even sang songs. Luli glanced at it, and then found that his mother was also among them. She seemed very good-looking, with a joyful smile on her face, It seems that it has adapted to the rhythm of life in the countryside. But it is reasonable to think about it. The Steve family lived in the countryside, and there were never those bad problems that people in the city raised their respects. Luli always wanted to compensate her mother and let her live a better life. But I ignored this. Perhaps this is the most suitable way for mothers. Seeing his mother's peace, Luli did not say anything. He stood in the distance, watched for a while, and left with relief. Now that the mother has temporarily forgotten what her father leaves, she still should not expose her scar in the past. No more sadness can be caused. Before leaving the village, Luli and Turner told individual people, "I may have a long trip recently. In the next few months, I will give you it here. I hope that when I come back, I can see a brand new Huangsha village." "No problem. Wrap it on me." Zhang Yuga patted his chest to guarantee. "The same is true." Turner followed the sound. "Okay, then I'm gone, how much you take care of?" After speaking, Luli turned and left quickly. It wasn't until no one around him that he sent back to the warehouse of the oasis. "Take the things in the backpack, and put them in other categories. This trip to the lower bounds has a lot of gains. Not only did you get a lot of ancient wreckage, but also a lot of refined materials. Many of these materials were contributed by Zhang Yuga. In the 3 years in the lower realm, this kid has no treasure hunt. He searched for the treasure chest in the fortress, Hellwarts. He also ran to his brother, and made a lot of flame sticks. However, he would not refine the medicine, so he gave it to Luli. This saves Luli a lot of effort. In the end, there was only the attachment slate from the Sea Temple. God's enchanting. I don't know how the effect. Lu Limo was holding his chin and thinking about how to deal with this stuff. He first took out the ancient wreckage and put it on the furnace to burn into the lower alloy fragments. Then put 4 lower alloy fragments with 4 gold ingots together to synthesize the lower alloy ingot. Finally, add the lower boundary alloy ingots to upgrade the diamond equipment on the body into a lower alloy set. The lower alloy set is more powerful than the diamond suit. Not only that, it can perfectly inherit the enchantment effect of the diamond cover. After some forging, the quality of the land from ionizing has been improved to a brand new level again. After upgrading the whole body's equipment into a lower alloy set, there are still many materials left in Luli's hand. Thinking of Anta, they did not have a weapon that they did not call it, and they made a few more axe and sword. In the end, Luli took out the attachment of the magic slate. After playing in the hand for a while, the slate did not respond. Luli frowned, a little confused. In desperation, he had to ask for help outside the field. "Black Dragon, why didn't you respond?" "I don't know either." "Don't you try it on the attachment platform?" Black Dragon was also black and confused. Luli sighed, and now he can only die as a living horse doctor. He took a magic slate and just approached the attachment platform, and the mutation was suddenly born. The books above the enchanting table suddenly began to tremble violently. Each of the enchanting words quickly flew out of the book. "Wrap the magic slate into it." Luli was shocked. "This is..." The next second, the attached slate in his hand floated out of thin air. After 2 steps retreating, he observed quietly. The marks on the attachment of magic slate gradually brightened. The surrounding enchanting text seemed to receive instructions, and began to turn around. It lasted for more than 10 seconds. A crispy click sounded. At a glance, Luli looked at the surface of the attached slate. It didn't take long for the whole slate was covered with spider web-like cracks. After a few seconds, the slate suddenly broke and turned into a crushed ground. Those enchanting texts began to quickly arrange combinations, forming a mark representing the enchantment of the gods in the air. Luli went forward curiously and planned to check it carefully. Unexpectedly, as soon as I took a step, the mark turned into a golden light and flew towards himself. Everything happened too fast, and Luli didn't respond at all. What about my mark? I'm a big mark. It seems. I went to your shoes. Black Dragon reminded. Luli was stunned, and then found that there was an extra mark on the shoes. Look at the attribute again, there is an additional, shinshing, in the column of the enchantment. Is this enchanting? Luli is still a little bit. He doesn't even know what the effect of this enchantment is. Black Dragon is also the first time I saw the Epipokemo, and I didn't even know. Hey, forget it, let's go out and send the weapon first. After making it for a long time, I didn't understand the mystery in it, and Luli simply gave up. Back to the ground of the oasis. Anta is taking care of farmland by the lake. Luli patted it. Steve? Are you looking for me? Anta turned around. See you pitiful, give you something good. To put it, Luli took out an enchanting alloy axe and lower alloy sword. This is. Anta, staring at the axe in his hand, was a little curious. This is the lower alloy weapon that has been enchanting. It should be regarded as the most powerful weapon now. You can choose one. Hearing Luli's explanation, Anta scratched his head. He took out the diamond sword that Luli gave it before. This stuff looks so ugly, otherwise I still use my diamond weapon. Anta has always been the appearance party. The golden sword used before, the diamond sword now used, so some of the new weapons from Luli. Luli didn't say anything. The Phantom Knight happened to pass by, and Luli shouted it. Give you a new weapon, you go to fight with Anta, good. The Phantom Knight is not ink, and you must do it when you pick up the weapon. According to Lu Jishuan, the two had previously handed over their hands, and their strength was almost the same. This is a good opportunity. I tied my hand last time, I won't let you this time. Anta also soared. Let's come here. Soon, the two started fighting. As soon as the two sides came up, the two sides had a tough. The diamond sword and the lower alloy sword collided with each other, wiping the spark. The Phantom Knight did not respond, but Anta felt the gap between power. Fight on the front, it is actually crushed by strength. How is this possible? I lost. Anta said so, but his eyes kept staring at the alloy sword in the lower boundary. If Luli pretended not to see it, he had to put away the weapon. Anta suddenly was anxious. He fell down in front of Luli and hugged his thigh. Steve dash. It's not a new year, what are you going to do? Luli Chang asked with a smile. I'm wrong. I don't want a diamond sword. Give me the sword in your hand. Please. Anta burst into tears, and he didn't shout, Luli's father. Luli was hugged by it and couldn't move. You let me go first, I'll give it to you. Okay. This is what you said. Anta hurriedly let go of his hand, staring at the landless face. This thing is rare, don't take it out to show off, be careful. Certainly. From today, I will treat this sword as a wife. Anta took the sword from Luli, and a fierce relative facing the sword. Luli could feel that the blade of Li on his waist seemed to have trembled. Shaoli, see if you see it, this is the end of the wrong owner. Anta's weapon was taken, and the remaining people soon became a weapon. These are the mainstays of his men, which is worthy of winning. They have improved their combat effectiveness, and can also make Luli save a lot of trouble. After busy, Luli came to the highest point of the oasis. The Queen of Ice and Snow lived in a small house here. You are here. Seeing Luli's arrival, the Queen of Ice and Snow seemed very calm. Well, a little busy recently, I don't have time to accompany you, sorry. Luli was like a wrong child and dared not look directly at each other. It's okay, go busy if you have something to do. I'm so good alone. Compared with the years when I was lonely in the Aurora Palace, this was nothing at all. The Queen of Ice and Snow smiles quietly and beautiful. The more she is so understanding, the more she is in her heart. Sorry. Luli stepped forward and reached out and hugged the Snow Queen around his back. He leaned his head on the other's shoulder. That feeling is extremely peaceful. The Queen of the Snow and Snow stroked Luli's head with a smile, and comforted it softly. Don't worry, Sister AI will never be fine. She knew why Luli was worried. Well, I hope this. Half an hour later, Luli sent away the oasis. He did not return to Huangsha village, but returned to his hometown of Carlo village. After experiencing the previous mutant zombie attack, Carlo village has changed a lot. Because it borders the fog forest here, the kingdom sets the first line of defense of the mutant zombie here. There are no villagers in the village, only soldiers who enter and exit. When Luli came to the entrance of Carlo village, he was stopped by several soldiers. The border is heavy, and it is not allowed to enter. Luli glanced at a few people and took out something from his pocket. Golden sword shield badge? You? Seeing the badge, several soldiers' eyes were almost staring. Are there any other questions? Luli asked. No, you are free. Luli took away the badge and walked in. He was the best part of the titled knight at hand, or the best for the old Moulin. Although Luli himself is also the knight of the title, he has no exclusive badge token. It seems that I have to find a time to return to Rice City and get my badge to the hand. Always use others always feels hard. After showing his identity, Luli entered the village of Carlo smoothly. Today, Carlo village is tightly alert. Patrol guards can be seen everywhere. Luli stopped a soldier. Little brother, have you seen a guy named Alwyn? As soon as he heard the word Alwyn, the soldier's face changed slightly. Shouldn't you mean His Royal Highness Alvin? It's exactly. Luli nodded. His Royal Highness Elwyn is crazy, I think you don't go to him. Luli heard his words and frowned. Crazy? What happened? The soldier sighed and began to explain to Luli. A few days ago, His Royal Highness Elwyn suddenly came to Carlo village, and then stayed. At first, he just walked around the village, and we didn't have many tube. After a few days, His Royal Highness Elwyn began to approach slowly towards the periphery of the fog forest. His Royal Highness Elwyn is a distinguished big person, and ordered to let us protect His Royal Highness Alvin and prevent him from getting close to the fog forest. What about later? Luli asked a little nervously. Although we have already seen it tightly, His Royal Highness Alvin found a chance and left Carlo village late at night. When we discovered the next morning, His Royal Highness Alvin was gone. We launched all the power to start a carpet search. After looking for 2 days and 2 nights, there were no news. Just when everyone was about to give up, His Royal Highness Elwyn suddenly came out of the fog forest. Everyone was stupid at the time. Everyone was relieved to see His Royal Highness Elwyn, thinking that things ended. Unexpectedly, after His Royal Highness Erwin returned, his temperament changed greatly, his temper became particularly irritable, and he was unwilling to communicate with people. At night, I will go to the village entrance to yell, as if it was crazy. Having said that, the soldiers couldn't help sighing. This fog forest is too evil, otherwise His Royal Highness Alvin will not become this look today. After learning about the ins and outs of the soldiers, Luli quickly thanked him. After asking Alvin's residence, he rushed to the past non-stop. The home of Elwyn is located in the outermost part of the village of Carlo. It is only tens of meters away from the straight line from the village entrance, and it arrives as soon as you go out. Perhaps he was scared by Erwin's weird manners, and there was no soldier hundreds of meters around his residence. Luli walked to the door of the house, and the probe glanced at the room. I don't know, I was startled at a glance. I saw Elwyn lay on the ground, his eyes opened. He was a lot thinner than before, his face was pale, his eyes were empty, and he seemed to be a zombie. Elwyn. When Lily saw this, he hurried up. He tried to support Elwyn from the ground. When Elwyn heard the sound, his eyes finally changed. He turned his head, stared at Lily, and asked intermittently, "Who are you?" "I'm Steve. Don't you even recognize it?" Lily shook Elwyn's shoulder. "Steve." Elwyn still has a sluggish expression and looks like a soul. "Great sister-in-law, sorry." Lily was a little anxious, and raised his hand directly towards Elwyn's face, trying to wake him up. But before his slap fell, his arm was suddenly caught. And Elwyn looked at herself with a sneer. "Brother-in-law, I haven't seen you for a long time." Seeing the original crazy Elwyn suddenly return to normal, Lily's face was shocked. "You, not crazy?" he asked, curiously. "Crazy? I pretend. I look like a fragile person in my heart." Hearing the words, Lily was even more puzzled. Since there is no problem, why did Elwyn pretend to be stupid? It seemed to see Lily's confusion. He didn't wait for him to ask, and Elwyn began to explain. "Steve, you also know that the purpose of my trip is to investigate the whereabouts of your father Stin. But because of my special identity, the soldiers in this village are very concerned about me. Whenever I have a little adventure, they will be discovered by them as soon as possible, and then report it to the superior. This leads to the follow-up investigation plan." Hearing this, Lily had understood it. "So you deliberately pretend to be stupid, so that others will respect you far?" Elwyn sat up from the ground and patted Lily's shoulders. "Steve, you still know me. It really deserves my good brother-in-law." When he heard Elwyn's lifting of Ailey, Lily suddenly fell into silence. "Steve, what's wrong with you? Why don't you speak suddenly?" Seeing that Lily had never spoken, Elwyn asked, curiously. "Elwyn, do you know Ailey?" "Ailey? What happened to my sister? Are you two quarreling?" From Elwyn's response, Lily could judge that he should not know that Ailey disappeared. This made Lily more embarrassed. "Ailey, she disappeared." He hesitated for a long time and he eventually said, "What? Ailey disappeared? When will happen? Why don't I know?" As soon as she heard her sister's disappearance, Elwyn's face changed. "You have to have more than a week. It's been so long." "Then why do you tell me now?" "It's my fault. I'm sorry, I'm negligent, I didn't protect Ailey." After speaking, Lily lowered his head and did not dare to look directly at each other's eyes. As soon as I heard this, Elwyn's emotions became extremely excited. He was still hippie and smiled, and stepped forward, holding the collar of Lily. "Say sorry, what's the use? Steve. I handed my sister into your hands, you just take care of her?" Facing Elwyn's question, Lily didn't know how he should answer. He can only choose to be silent. Seeing that Lily had never spoken, Elwyn picked up a long sword from the ground. He pointed to Lily with a sword tip, and his eyes were full of anger. "Steve. You must answer me today. Otherwise, I will kill you." Lily finally looked up. He glanced at Elwyn and smiled bitterly. "To this day, it's useless to say anything. If you feel that you can vent your anger, then come, I won't resist." After speaking, Lily opened his hands and closed his eyes. After waiting for a long time, the sword in the expected never fell. As soon as he opened his eyes, he heard Dang's sound. Longsword fell to the ground. Elwyn sat on the ground again. Different from the previous pretending to be stupid. This time, he was really hit. Elwyn's mouth said softly with Ailey's name over and over again. The whole person is as aging for dozens of years. Seeing this, Lily sighed. He stepped forward and helped Elwyn. Don't be too sad. I already have some eyebrows about the whereabouts of Ailey, and give me some time, I will definitely bring her back safely. I swear in the name of my father. It seemed to be Stoun's name, and Elwyn finally nodded. Looking at your father's face, I believe you this time, but if Ailey really happened, I will not let you go. When Elwyn's emotions stabilized, Luli explained the intention. Actually, I am here for my father's affairs. I heard that you have been staying at the border recently. Have you found any clues? When he heard Luli, Elwyn did not answer him for the first time. Instead, I walked to the door of the house and checked the surrounding situation. After confirming that there were no other people around, closed the door and returned to the house. You are good. Through these days of observation, I do have some discovery. Elwyn said slowly. Oh? Listen. Luli was very interested in the discovery of Elwyn. You told me before, saying that Stinwin would appear at the village entrance, but I waited for several days and did not find his trace. In order to figure out the reason, I left the village before dawn, drilled into the woods to find clues. Then what? Luli quickly asked. After I entered the woods, I turned around. Except for a few zombie monsters, there were no other discoveries. When I leave the woods, the sky is already on. I walked forward again, but I didn't expect to enter the peripheral area of the fog forest. I have been listening to others saying it is dangerous, but I have never been here. There were some light rain that day, the soil on the ground was moist. Walking, a row of footprints appeared on the ground. The footprints are several times more than the ordinary People's Congress, and I think of the giant zombie you, and I said. I followed my footprints all the way, and came to the door of the mist forest. The footprints are still extending to the forest, but I don't dare to go in. It didn't take long for the soldiers of Carlo village to find that I was missing, so I came here. I know this may be the last chance. If they are taken back, they will definitely be sent back to Wangqing. But I haven't figured out the whereabouts of Uncle Sven. I don't want to go back yet. Luli moved slightly. So, are you going in? Elle nodded. I gritted my teeth and walked into the mist forest. I have been listening to how evil the fog forest is, and there is no way out. I thought there were many powerful monsters inside. But it doesn't seem to be the case. I stayed in the fog forest for a long time, but I didn't encounter anything. It was even safer than the outside. Strangely, when I first entered the forest, there were a lot of mushrooms on the ground, but after a while, those mushrooms disappeared, and I saw a workbench on the ground. Steve, you said, who would be left? Facing Elwyn's question, Luli's face was weird. In order to refine the medicinal water, he deliberately went to the forest to pick mushrooms. That synthetic table is likely to be put on him. Unexpectedly, I was encountered by Alwyn. The workbench must be left by the people who lost their way in the forest. Those mushrooms have been picked up as food to fill their hunger. This is fine. Luli casually compiled a reason. Alwyn had no doubt. I walked down the forest along my foot, and finally came to a pond. Shui Lake? Is the water pond deep? There are 2 chains on the shore? Luli asked quickly. Yeah. How do you know? Elwyn was a bit surprised. Coincidentally, I have been there. Luli smiled bitterly and said helplessly. Have you been to the fog forest? Luli nodded. Then how did you come out? Elwyn asked, curiously. Luli didn't rush to explain, but threw the question back again. You say first, I'll tell you after talking. Elwyn scratched his head. I don't know too much. I felt that there was a weird in the pond at that time, so I jumped down to check. Who knows, the water pond is extremely deep, and I couldn't find it to the bottom for a long time. I didn't hold it in one breath and drowned directly. I thought I was dead. But when I woke up, I found that I was lying outside the fog forest, and there was the footprint of a giant zombie on the ground next to it. Hearing that, Luli frowned. Are you a giant zombie rescue? It should be, I'm not sure. Elwyn came up with something suddenly thought. By the way, when I woke up, there was a map on my body. Map? What map? Take it out for me. Luli said quickly. Somehow, he always feels what important news must be hidden in that map. Maybe it was the clue that my father had left intentionally. Well, this is this. Elwyn took out a map and handed it to Luli. Luli took a look, and suddenly his eyes lighted up. This is actually a map with direction. This is much higher than those ordinary paper maps in the Kingdom of Blocks. Several locations were marked on the map with a red circle. After Luli checked carefully, it was found that one of the places was the seal of the Black Dragon's seal. The rest are distributed in various areas of the fog forest. Luli couldn't help but have a bold speculation. Will these places marked with the red circle are sealed with other monsters? In order to verify his conjecture, Luli directly shouted the party. Black Dragon was awakened, and he was a little reluctant. But as soon as I saw the map, I came with a spirit. This is the map of the fog forest? That's not so? Okay, where did your kid come from? This map was not made by ordinary people. Don't worry about so much, just tell me what is the place marked on it. Black Dragon looked at the map and thought about it. These places should be sealed with some powerful monsters. But what monsters are the specific seal, I don't know well. After all, the ability to move is limited. You see, this is the area where I was sealed. There was a spider monster sealed in the area next to it. This is the closest seal to me. Black Dragon refers to somewhere on the map. Spider monster? Luli was a little stunned. What is a good seal of a spider monster? You can destroy it by yourself. But he thought about it, and he felt unlikely. How can a monster being sealed in the fog forest? He asked tentatively. The spider you said, is it awesome? I haven't fought with it, but that guy is only half of my size. I should think that I should be a bit more amazing. Black Dragon said with confidence. Luli heard cold sweat. You know, the head of the Black Dragon is nearly 50 meters. Even if the spider monster is only half the size of the Black Dragon, it is 20 or 30 meters. A spider monster with a length of 20 to 30 meters. In that picture, Luli didn't dare to think about it. No wonder you want to seal it, it seems for a reason. I woke up and was discovered by the soldiers before I woke up and brought it back to the village. Because I got out of the fog forest alive, this incident caused a lot of sensation. Many people want to know how I escaped from the fog forest. After I came back, the people who asked at the door were endless, and I asked me. In the end, there is no way, I pretend to be stupid. You should know everything in the future. Luli nodded. Elwyn's explanation is reasonable, not like lying to him. You can always tell me now. How did you come out of the fog forest? Elwyn couldn't wait to ask. I met a friend in the fog forest. He was familiar with the road conditions inside, which was the road he brought me. Luli smiled and said slowly. When he heard Luli, Elwyn did not respond for a while. He stunned, and asked in an uncertain tone, Do you mean, still living in the fog forest? Luli nodded gently. How is this possible? That's a fog forest. How can there be humans living inside? After getting Luli's affirmative reply, Elwyn still felt a little incredible. Luli frowned. I didn't say it was humans. At this moment, Elwyn was even more puzzling. Isn't it human? Is it, monster? He thought of the rumors related to Luli and Wangqing recently. It is said that Luli is the master of monsters, and his men lead thousands of monsters, which are fierce. At that time Elwyn just came to the border. He was just an unreliable rumor, and he didn't take it at all. But Luli's words just made him feel that it seemed true. Steve, shouldn't you really, the master of the monster? Luli didn't answer, but gave the other party a mysterious smile. Elwyn's heart. It's the default without talking. Is it true? Isn't that? Elwyn hit the Cold War involuntarily. He took 2 steps quickly and tried to keep a distance from Luli. Seeing Elwyn's face was not right, Luli really couldn't hold back and laughed. Don't be so nervous. I tease you to play. Elwyn, who was still mentally tight, was suddenly such with Luli, and his brain was a little crashing. He was aggressive. The master of the monster is just made by the residents in the city, shouldn't you really believe it? Luli said with a smile. How can I? Alvin scratched his head and replied embarrassingly. By the way, introduce you to my fog forest friend. Luli winked at the black dragon and made him appear. Black dragon was 100 reluctance. Usually, it appears with the soul shadowing way to communicate with Luli, so only Luli can see him. If you want others to see him, you have to condense the entity. This costs a lot of strength. But since Luli has said, he is not easy to refuse. Your friend is here too? Elwyn was a little surprised. He wanted to see where the friend in Luliko was sacred. The guy who can live in the fog forest is definitely not easy. Come. Elwyn looked around and did not find any figure, which confused him. What about others? Luli pointed his finger above. You on your head. El landed away from the direction of his fingers and looked up slowly. A black dragon was hovering over his head. Although the body shape has been reduced by hundreds of times, it looks like a small snake. But the kind of speechless coercion is like a mountain, which is oppressed on Elwyn's body. It's just a moment. Elwyn couldn't bear the majesty and sat on the ground with a flutter. He looked at the black dragon, and his eyes were full of fear. The black dragon came down, looking down at Elwyn on the ground. Its eyes exuding the eyes of all beings, proud and cold. In its eyes, Elwyn is like a humble ant, which can easily crush. Elwyn's chest was undulating, and symptoms of dyspnea have experienced. Almost, let you come out to show up, what prestige? Is it itchy? Seeing this, Luli scolded him angrily. The black dragon hurriedly put away the coercion. It was suppressed for too long, and it was easy to come out to install a ratio, but I couldn't hold back for a while. If Luli really provokes hair, then something will happen. Luli's horrible soul power is not what it can bear. What's more, he signed a soul contract with Luli. As long as the other party is moving, it will fart. Black Dragon is usually used to having Luli, and then remembered that his little life was still in Luli's hand. As soon as the pressure was scattered, Elwyn was relieved, and the whole person was lying on the ground, his mouth gasped. Sorry, my pet was a little excited just now, I have taught it. Luli squatted down and helped Elwyn from the ground. Elwyn looks like watching monsters. If I read it correctly, the guy was dragon? Luli nodded gently. That dragon is your pet? Elwyn asked again. Luli continued to nod. After getting a positive answer, Elwyn's eyes flashed a trace of suspicion. Looking at Luli's eyes became complicated. Well, you Steve. Hidden so deep. Before they said what monster you are, I don't believe it yet. It seems that I'm wrong now. Even the dragon has become your pet, and you say you are not the master of a monster. Luli heard the words, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. Okay, you say that, that's right, just be happy. At this point, it seems useless to explain how much it seems to be. He simply accepted reality. The black dragon fell from the air, lay on Luli's shoulders, and curled up into a ball. Alvin took a few steps back subconsciously, maintaining a safe distance with Luli. He didn't expect Luli to admit it so quickly. This made him prepare for a lot of words. Don't you say you want to show me your friends, what about people? Elwyn asked tentatively. Didn't you see it just now? Elwyn stunned for a while, and then reacted. The friend you said, wouldn't it be that dragon? Otherwise? I have never said that my friend is human. Luli said. But, you just said that that dragon is your pet, how can you become a friend again, aren't you a friend? Elwyn asked, puzzled. Luli smiled. It wanted to harm me at the beginning, but it failed. Finally, I voluntarily signed a soul contract with me and became my pet. But I have always been talking well. After a long time, everyone has become friends. Is it a friend or a pet? This is not important. The important thing is that I can control its life and death. As long as the fist is hard enough, there is nothing that can't be done. Elwyn finished hearing. Luli patted Elwyn's shoulder and said, some things are not as simple as it looks like. You don't know there are a lot of things. For Luli, Elle did not recognize it. How is it possible? I am the prince of the kingdom of the block, can I still have something I don't know? There is a square that is dedicated to the first generation of king under the city of Les, do you know? There are other countries outside the fog forest, do you know? Luli sneered and threw a few questions in a row. Elwyn was speechless and could only shake his head. Luli asked these, he never heard of it. The black dragon couldn't help but add the guardian beast of the kingdom of Block is a mother dragon, do you know? Faced with the questioning of Luli and Black Dragon, Elwyn heard people stupid. He thought he was a prince and knew more than ordinary people. It seems like a joke. Especially when Luli said that there were other countries existed outside the fog forest, Elwyn panicked. Everything else can be ignored, but this matter is closely related to him. Now the border is extremely dangerous, and mutant zombies are about to move. If there are other forces in secret, the kingdom is in danger. Steve, do you say that those countries will take the opportunity to attack the kingdom of blocks? Seeing Elwyn's face was dignified, his face was serious, and Luli stepped forward to comfort. No, if those people can break through the restrictions of the fog forest, they will come in long ago, don't be so nervous. Hearing the words, Elwyn's face eased slightly. That's good. Luli suddenly thought of something, and asked, I said. Shouldn't your kid want to be a king? Ellen suddenly shocked, as if he had said his heart. I don't. Seeing Elwyn's look of guilty conscience, Luli felt a little funny. This guy was not engraved on his face. But he didn't deliberately piercing each other's words. He can see Elwyn's desire for the throne. But the orthodox heirs are his apprentice Mars. There are differences in it. Luli is not a person on the mainland, and he does not care about the ownership of the throne. No matter who the throne falls in, it has nothing to do with him. This kind of headache is left to the King Mark House to worry. I took the map first. I planned to enter the fog forest in the past 2 days. You stay in the village first. Elwyn heard it, and it was anxious. No. Don't stay. I have to go too. He grabbed Luli's arm and was anxious. Are you going too? Elwyn nodded affirmatively. The fog forest is very dangerous, I can barely protect myself, but bring you that. Ludi scratched his head, a bit embarrassed. It's okay, I can protect myself. Please bring me. Elwyn's tone is resolute. Why do you have to go? Give me a reason? Luli asked, puzzledly. I want to go to Uncle Stin. I want to know how he is now. Elwyn said. All right. Luli sighed. Elwyn thought that Luli promised to bring himself into the fog forest, and he was happy. Before he could celebrate, he suddenly had a dark eyes and fainted. Luli looked at Elwyn lying on the ground and frowned. Black Dragon, shouldn't you start to kill him too much? Black Dragon smiled. How do you? I just used a little soul power. This kid can wake up for 10 days and a half months to sleep. The corner of Luco's mouth was pumped. I just let you dizzy him, you are so heavy. Sleep so long, starve to death early. There was no way, Luli had to go out to call the soldiers. Several soldiers saw Elwyn, who were not saved, and looked extremely panicked. The prince had something to do on the border, and when he blamed it, it would be a big deal. His Royal Highness Elwyn thought about his family and fainted. You sent him back to Les City. Luli's words made everyone feel more at ease. Soon, Elwyn was carefully taken away by several soldiers. As soon as a few people left, Luli got up and walked towards the mist forest outside the village. After leaving Carlo village, Luli's light car came to the periphery of the mist forest. For others, the fog forest is a ban. But for Luli, it is like his back garden. Every time I return to the fog forest, it is like returning home. There is a black dragon guide, it is difficult to get lost. After less than half an hour, I return to the sealing pond before the black dragon. The giant chains on both sides are covered with moss, and there is no wave of waves on the surface. Therefore, Luli couldn't help but feel somewhat emotion. When he first entered the fog forest, Luli was just an ordinary person who was managed. Just a bronze knight can abuse him. But now, after less than half a year, he has become a powerful knight. Not only is the strength superb, but the status in the kingdom is not comparable. Give the princess to the princess, be a teacher to the prince, and the king's brother and brother. All this is like a dream, making people feel a little unreal. Luli squatted down and observed the depths of the pond. Elwyn tried to go down to the bottom of the pond and ended in failure. He originally wanted to go down, but thought about it. In this case, just ask the Black Dragon, it is the most right to speak. Black Dragon, you have stayed in this pond for so long, you must be familiar with the situation below? Black Dragon appeared again. I really haven't studied it carefully. The damn chain trapped me here, I didn't have a chance to go on. But I guess, the bottom of this pond should be connected to other exports. Hearing the words, it immediately aroused Luli's interest. Do you say that? Do you have any basis? Certainly. You see, there are more than a dozen streams near this nearby. The water flow is all remitted into the pond, but the water level of the water pond has not changed. The Black Dragon pointed to the several streams around Shuetan. Luli thought for a while, and finally made a decision. We guessed here is useless, and we will see it directly. He didn't say a word, and jumped directly into the pond. Black Dragon looked at the water pond in front of him, and was a little unwilling. He was sealed here for a long time, and he finally escaped, and now let him go. Once he was bitten by a snake for 10 years, he was afraid of the well rope, and he probably felt this. Hesitating again and again, Black Dragon finally followed up. He also wanted to know what secrets were under this pond. Luli went downstream all the way. This water pond is bottomless. After more than 10 meters down, his sight was hindered. The light on the water on the top cannot be illuminated to a deeper place. In desperation, Luli had to take out fluorite to light up. In the huge pond, there is no fish, and some dead. The light of fluorite looks extremely weak under the dim water. Seeing the breathing strip is about to see the bottom, Luli quickly took out the torch and inserted it on the wall to make a grid air for breathing. If Elwyn learned this trick, he would not drown. After restoring the breathing strip, Luli continued to go down. Repeated. After the third time, Luli glanced at the coordinates. He has dropped at a height of nearly 50 grids, but he still failed to reach the bottom of the pond. His uncle, actually so deep. This is the rhythm plan to break through the base rock layer to void? After Luli was just spitting up, he stepped on the ground under his feet. He finally came to the bottom of the pond. Luli took out a piece of fluorite to illuminate the bottom. On his right-hand side, a horizontal passage appeared. Luli walked along the passage to the depths. The passage is narrow, and it has been winding forward. After changing his breath several times, he finally reached the exit. Luli revealed his head from the water and looked at the surrounding situation. At this time, he was in a small lake in a mine. Lulio went to the shore and walked high. When he saw the whole picture of the mine, he suddenly stunned. Why do you look so familiar in this place? Isn't this the abandoned mine in the Amethyst? After walking around, I finally came here. Luli turned around, and soon found the left marks. Come here, you always have to take away something. Luli took out the pick and dug the stone wall of that face, exposing the mine channel inside. Half a year has passed, and only a small cluster has grown. If you want more amethyst, you must go deep. In order to dig amethyst, the guardian beast was shocked to guard the beast. At that time, Luli was not an opponent who guarded the sound, but could only escape. However, it was not the past that Luli had grown into a strong warrior long ago. He put away the hosey, changed into a weapon, and continued to walk inside. The deeper, the more intensive theme on both sides of the mineral channel. Luli did not rush to dig, but continued to deepen. He wanted to solve the sound of the sound of the sound of reunited mining. The mineral road is long, and only the amethyst on both sides exudes the weak purple light. Luli walked for a long time and did not see the guardian guard. Seeing ghosts, why is this mineral road so long? Luli couldn't help whispering. After walking a distance, the road ahead suddenly opened up. The mine, which could only accommodate the two people, was spacious instantly. What is even more amazing is that the torch on the walls on both sides of the mineral channel were inserted. You can see some every other distance. Is there anyone who lives here? Luli suddenly came up with a bold idea. Otherwise, the source of this torch cannot be explained. When Luli was randomly guess, there was an open area ahead. There are several followers there. Luli was shocked and hid quickly. He poked his head and watched it left and right for a while. Good guy, the guardian guards are nearly 10. To let Luli deal with 1 or 2, it is okay, but so much is a little hanging. He wanted to leave quickly and go back to a safe place. But thinking about it, I felt unwilling. There must be unusual things here to guard here. Generally speaking, the more places, the more valuable the baby is. Luli is a greedy guy. He wanted to take the risk and stay to see the situation. Sticking to the wall, Luli carefully approached the front. Finally, there were a few meters away from the monsters. These guardian guards are only interested in the sound. As long as Luli can't make great movements, it is also safe. At this point, the followers of the followers were gathered in a circle. Luli looked curiously. Still open the conference? Are there even monsters now with corporate culture? However, Luli observed for a while and found some clues. Except for one of the most outsourcing patrols, the rest of the monsters kept a unified posture, standing in place. It's like a stone carving, and it is still motionless. In the face of many follow-up guards, Luli hesitated. Needless to say, what secrets must be hidden here? But you can't rush in like this. If so many guards guard yourself together, then I am afraid that life will not be guaranteed. Thinking again and again, Luli finally chose the most secure way. If you can't get closer from the front, then from the ground. Luli took out the pick and hid in a corner and dug it under his feet. It didn't take long for an underground passage to be dug out. Luli walked down the steps and blocked the exit of his head by the way to prevent it from being discovered. After going down to the bottom, began to dig into the scheduled direction. When he dug the stone, he was very careful, for fear that something moved to disturb the followers on the ground. A few minutes later, the diamond pick in Luli's hand stopped. The square in front suddenly became extremely hard. Even if it was full of the best diamond picks, it could not shake its points. Seeing this scene, Luli immediately thought of a possibility. Like the Neo-Tautian palace, there is a prohibited system that cannot be excavated. But this is not possible. Luli sneered and took out the long-seized maze damage. It is best to use this kind of restricted excavation. Just as Lulioshi thought, when the maze was destroyed, the hard block was split. Just the next second, the mutation suddenly emerged. The entire underground space began to shake violently, like an earthquake. The surrounding stones made the sound of crushing, and the gravel kept falling from the top of the head. Luli was shocked. If you don't go out, I'm afraid he will be buried in the ground. He quickly returned along the passage. Luli dug the round stone at the door and returned to the mine road. The situation outside is not optimistic. On the ground, on the walls, cracks are everywhere. Not far from the open ground, those guards still stood still, as if everything around them had nothing to do with them. Luli was doubtful, and suddenly a bunch of stones were dropped above. Those guards' dodge could not be smashed. Immediately afterwards, Luli's dumbfounded scene appeared. Those stones fell on the ground, like a stone-sinking sea, disappearing without a trace. Luli couldn't care about the danger of falling stone, and curiosity prompted him to come forward to check. The closer it is, the clearer the look. As soon as those stones fall to the ground will shine. The light was very weak, and I couldn't find it at all. Luli glanced more and found that these lights were not irregular. It looks like an aperture. There are also some strange symbols in the blank space of the aperture. Luli suddenly thought of the teleportation array he saw in the end of the Twilight Forest. The above symbols seem a bit similar to this. The King Marcus once told himself that there was a secret teleportation array in the Fog Forest. Only the successor can enter there. Shouldn't this in front of me? If it is really the same as Marcus said, then this teleportation array is leading to the outside world. What is the world of Block Kingdom? Thinking of this, Luli was a little excited. He is a person who likes adventure. The legendary characters like Zell all left the Twilight Forest and went to the original world of the legend. You can't stay here for a lifetime. For the current Luli, the kingdom of the block has not been able to accommodate him. He needs a wider stage. And this teleportation array may be the key. Ailey, you are busy, I'm very good alone, don't read it. Luli hid in the corner and observed the teleportation array on the ground from a distance. Not long after, the earthquake gradually subsided. Those who followed the sound to stand around the teleportation array, not like the mountain. It's so dedicated, it's not driven. Luli couldn't help feeling emotion. He became brave, leaning forward again. At this moment, the vision is a lot clearer. After getting closer, Luli then noticed that those monsters were something wrong. There are more or less scars on their bodies, which should have just been caused. Through those scars, Luli was shocked and found that the texture of stones actually appeared in it. This made Luli a little stunned. After a long time, these are all stone statues. I didn't see clearly from far away. After approaching, I found the clue. This is really a big oolong. Luli took a breath. Since it was a stone statue, there was nothing to be afraid of. A followed guard, he can still deal with it. He left his hiding corner boldly, and walked towards the sound of followers next to the big array. The follow-up guard seemed to hear Luli's footsteps and slowly turned around. Luli's waist sword was ready to go, ready to fight at any time. But in the next second, the unexpected scene happened. The guardian guarding did not retreat and fled in the opposite direction. Luli was a little wary. Could it be that his own aura is too powerful and scares the monster away? It shouldn't. He scratched his head, his face was full of confusion. However, Luli did not rush to chase and follow the guard. He walked to the teleportation array, stopped, and started to observe carefully. Luli carefully stretched out a foot and stepped into the teleportation array. After confirming that there was no abnormality in the teleportation array, he walked into it. The entire large array is round, with a diameter of about 50 meters, and the area is enough to accommodate thousands of people. In the upper right corner of the grand array, there was a gap appeared. Luli looked around, and confirmed that there was a place where he had dug up before. In other words, the picking array was dug out just now? That's why it caused an earthquake? Thinking of this, Luli felt a little wrong. Such a large transmission array will definitely not be destroyed so easily. There must be other reasons in it. Large circles in the transmission array are composed of mysterious symbols. The more you go to the center, the more dense the symbols are. Luli stopped until the closest center. A round concave pit appeared at the center, which was empty. I don't know what to put here. Luli guesses that this should have something to do with the energy of the great array. After all, if you want to start such a large teleportation array, the energy that needs to be consumed is inestimable. After a walk around the teleportation array, Luli had no other discovery, which disappointed him. He also wanted to start the teleportation array and go to the outside world for a long time. It seems that his good wishes can't be completed for the time being. Luli sighed and leaned away from the teleportation array. The follow-up guard has long disappeared. Luli followed the direction of its previous escape and continued to chase. Now that you come, you have to take something away. As the saying goes, the thief does not go empty. Luli has to make some benefits from following the guard. Otherwise, it is not in line with Luli. Luli chased all the way along the direction of the guardian guard. The stone walls on both sides began to slowly appear sporadic amethyst veins, but the number was small, and no crystal clusters were formed. The deeper, the more amethystiness. In the end, the entire channel was covered by amethyst. Walking in it, wherever you look, is the charming purple. Isn't it a pity to destroy such a beautiful place? Although Luli said so, he could not be merciless in his hand. Ding ding dang, Hosie's knocking sound is endless. It didn't take long for him to be included in his income pocket. The wool came out of the sheep, and he almost didn't dug the amethyst vein at all. Looking at the bare stone wall passage, Lu Dai scratched his head. He didn't feel embarrassed, mainly because the backpack couldn't be stuffed. Also, let's keep the rest. Leaks have to be cut one by one, and you can't dig people. Putting up the Hosie, Lu left with satisfaction. At the corner of more than 10 meters away from him, one followed by a sound guard was hiding in the corner of the corner. As the guardian of the amethyst ore, it should have come forward to stop Luli's behavior. I don't know why, from the first sight of Luli, it felt a very dangerous atmosphere. It soon made a choice of escape. It is more important than guarding the amethyst ore. Luli swam back from the bottom of the deep pond. He wanted to put the things in the backpack in the warehouse of the monster tower, and then came back to move the amethyst. But who knows that the underground passage is tight, and there is no way to use it. In desperation, Luli had to choose to give up. Wake up, don't patent it. He awakened the black dragon again. Here, there, don't shout. The black dragon appeared reluctantly. Since the last time in the Twilight Forest, its soul has been seriously created. Recently, it has been recovered a little bit, but Luli is still looking for him every day. He even has a rest time now, and he has some complaints in his heart. Black Dragon, didn't you say that there was a spider monster next door? I want to find it now, can you bring me away? Black Dragon heard the words. Why are you looking for that guy? It is not very good. I'm not good, I can't help it. Don't care about this, just tell me where it is. Black Dragon thinks about it slightly. He can't be familiar with Luli. This product is in a hurry to find a spider monster, and I must have no good thoughts. Maybe you have to start a war as soon as you meet. If you really fight, you must not be able to watch. At that time, maybe it will take a lot of soul power. Thinking of this, Black Dragon shook his head. I don't know its specific location, it's nearby anyway, you can find it yourself. Luli frowned. Are you sure you don't know? I really don't know, why do I lie to you? Black Dragon said innocently. Luli sighed. Hey, okay, I think I'm going to find it myself. Go to rest, don't bother you anymore. Black Dragon heard a joy. Just as he was about to leave, Luli suddenly came up with a sudden cold. I still wanted to find a body for you. Since you hurt so much, let me think about it slowly. The Black Dragon was stiff and his face became weird. Actually, my injury has been recovered almost. Luli looked at the Black Dragon and was playing with a smile. Real? Black Dragon nodded quickly. Luck you a puppy. Luli sighed again. Hey, but I don't know where people are, such a big fog forest, I want to find the year of the monkey and the moon. According to me, let's forget it. Speaking, Luli is about to leave. At first glance, Black Dragon was anxious. Hey. I know where it is. I will take you. Huh? But you said you didn't know it just now? In the face of Luli's questioning, Black Dragon was speechless for a while. Seeing the embarrassing look of Black Dragon, Luli smiled even more proud. Small, do you want to flicker me? Intersection even if you have lived for hundreds of years, you can't do it. Lulaquisher Shao, Black Dragon had to obediently come forward to lead the way. The two walked through the water pond and walked deeper towards the fog forest. Black Dragon usually only takes him to a safe area, which is the first time that Luli is so deep. Along the way, the Black Dragon hit the side and tried to talk about it from Lu's mouth. Let's say, I brought you this road, you see, this is a physical thing. Luli glanced at Heilung. Do you ask for a business? Heilung heard the words and immediately changed his breath. Big brother. As long as you find a suitable body for me, I will only look at your horse. Luli listened to the corner of his mouth straight. I haven't seen it for a few days, and this guy has a good skill. If it weren't for Luli, to see how shameless this guy was at the beginning, he would almost believe it. But he did not disassemble the Black Dragon in person. After all, I didn't see my head and looked up, how many noodles? It's good to say, what's the relationship between the two of us? I will definitely not treat you. Black Dragon smiled awkwardly. What does it have to do with Luli? In order to survive, the two filed a contract. As long as Luli thought, the Black Dragon as a contractor will fart. Even if Luli's hen flickered it, it dared not say half a word. Hey, who made himself out of the beginning? This is all fate. The Black Dragon sighed and continued to lead the way. The two walked forward for more than 10 minutes and had nothing to happen. Don't say that the sealed monster is not even the figure of an ordinary monster. Luli couldn't help wondering. Isn't the Black Dragon who lied to him? But think about it, and feel that the other party is not necessary to lie to him. After all, Xiao Lian was holding in his own hands. Just thinking, there was a low groan in the woods in front. Luli suddenly became alert. What kind of movement? This is the scream of the spider. It should be in front. The Black Dragon looks dignified. Hearing the tone of the Black Dragon, Luli became nervous. The other party does not know whether it is an enemy or a friend, and must be prepared to fight. The two of them moved their spirits and walked slowly in the direction of the sound. The deeper, the stronger the fog. You can only see a few meters in front of you. With the continuous deepening, the low charm became clearer. However, Luli always felt that this voice was a bit familiar, as if he had heard it. There was an open space ahead. There are broken trees everywhere, and the potholes on the ground are uneven, and it looks very messy. Luli glanced at the ground and found a lot of leftover footprints. These footprints are square, with deep traces, large area, and the footprints of giant zombies are comparable. If this is the footprint of a spider monster, how big its body is, Luli dare not think about it. Before the black dragon boasted that his body was huge, the spider was only half of its size. Luli thought it was bragging. Unexpectedly, it was true. Luli swallowed. Otherwise, let's go back. I suddenly remembered something at home. Black dragon stunned. It did not expect that Luli suddenly changed his hexagram. Before waiting for it to speak, there was a heavy footsteps not far away. It seems too late. Black dragon smiled bitterly. As the sound of footsteps approached, Luli looked up in the direction of the sound. Not far away, the towering big trees fell down and splashed the smoke. The fog around gradually dispersed. A huge figure slowly walked out of the dense fog. A 30-meter pink creature appeared in front of Luli. There was a sound of lingering sounds in his mouth. After seeing the appearance of the other person, Luli was dumbfounded. Black dragon, this is the spider monster you said? Yes, isn't this a pig monster? Is there any problem? The black dragon scratched his head and looked at Luli in doubt. Looking at the pink creature that covered the sky in front of him, Luli fell into thought. 30-meter high pig, I think there is a problem if I think. Are you sure that this guy is not a spy sent by the Titan? Black dragon scratched his head. Shouldn't it? How do you know? Luli asked. When I was sealed, it was already in this forest. But it was not so big before, and I don't know if this is what happened recently. During the talk, the giant pig had already come in front of the two. Yo-yo, isn't this my black dragon brother? I haven't seen it for a few days. Why did you pull it like this? I am willing to follow humans to eat meals. As soon as he came up, the giant pig began to tease the black dragon. Surprisingly, it actually made a girl's voice. Black dragon quickly counterattacked. Pecky, what are you doing? I now belong to good birds to choose wood. Don't talk nonsense if you don't understand. It's your guy. I haven't seen it for a few days. How can I gain so much? As soon as the words fell, the other party was angry. You stinky man, and face to say. I'm not all of you who are like this. Luli heard the mist in the clouds among the two. What is the relationship between you two? The old face of Black Dragon blushed and whispered, it doesn't matter, it's ordinary friends. The voice he said was very small, but he was heard by the other party. Ordinary friend? Okay, you are a scumbag, you really dare to say. When I chased me, the sky was chaotic, and I turned my face afterwards and did not recognize people? Luli heard the words, and was dumbfounded. What is the relationship between you two? Don't mention it, it's all the impulse that was impulsive that year. The black dragon turned his head and did not dare to look directly at Luli. A dragon can mix with a pig. Good guy, you can really play. Admire, admire. Luli had no thumbs up. After waiting for a while, when the black dragon didn't say anything, the other person seemed to be angry. Okay, since you are so ruthless, there is nothing to say. Black dragon, today is either you die or I die. Choose it yourself. Black dragon face is difficult. He looked at Luli, brother, I won't go down, or you still come. Luli, who ate melon, stunned. Seeing this pair of old lovers, why are there still their own things? Human, I advise you to take care of it less. Otherwise, I will even clean up together. Giant pig monster beqege threatened. The most hate in my life is the scumbag. Black dragon sin. I support your behavior. Luli thought about it, and then set off the enemy. Pei heard the words that tears flashed in her eyes. I heard, even your elder brother said that, you don't admit it yet. Well, we are completely ended today. As soon as the black dragon heard, this was a desperate rhythm and hurriedly spoke. Etc. I just liberated from the seal, there is insufficient strength, it is definitely not your opponent. This is unfair. Okay, then I don't bully you. Beqege sneered. A white light flashed, the next second, the 30-meter-high pig disappeared. Instead, it is a pink-haired woman with a plump figure. Can you become a humanoid? Fuck, Black Dragon, your guy is not shallow. Luli looked up and down, who turned into a humanoid, and joked. Black Dragon smiled bitterly. You will know that she will be amazing later. As soon as the words fell, Pei came over again. Luli Ben didn't want to mix and entered the two people, but one discovery made him change his mind. Wait a minute. Don't do it first. Human, what do you want to do? Don't think you can help me say good things. Today, this scumbag must have a result. You're better not to get rid of things. Pei said coldly. Don't be impulsive, I am also good for you. So, let me talk to the Black Dragon. Go and rest next to you. You. Beqege's eyes were suspicious. I am his elder brother, he will definitely listen to me. Don't worry. Okay, let's believe you once. Seeing Beqege walk away, Luli turned his head to look at the Heilung. This guy hid behind himself, and did not dare to put one. You are still a man. So counsel. Of course not a man. I am Gonglong. Black Dragon tried to quibble. Little to pull the calf. You come here. I have something to tell you. Luli beckoned to Heilung and signaled him to approach. I said, should we run quickly? I'm afraid that we have to explain here. Black Dragon looked around, a little panicked. Are you so afraid of her? Luli couldn't help wondering. Black Dragon is also a dragon. How can he be so afraid of a pig? Is this the legendary wife's strict management? I'm not afraid of her, I'm afraid of the monsters behind her. Huh? What is the monster behind her? Luli heard it, even more curious. Listening to this, Beqege is not small. Behind a pig, is it a group of pigs? That picture is really unimaginable. Don't look at her body as a pig, but her reputation in the fog forest is not small. There are many old monsters sealed in the fog forest, and they are horrible. The closer to the monster deep in the forest, the stronger the strength. As strong as me, I only stayed in the periphery. Hearing the explanation of the Black Dragon, Luli was also secretly surprised. He only knew that there were monsters in the fog forest, but the specifics were not clear. Listening to Black Dragon, he immediately had a general understanding. An adult dragon tribe can only stay outside. What kind of strength will the monster at the center be? No, even so, what does these have to do with Beqege? What old monster is she? Luli asked. The Black Dragon shook his head. She is different from these monsters. We were sealed here, but she was the aboriginal here. At the native person? Luli's face changed. Yes, it is said that she has lived here since she was a child. It has been many years. The earliest batch of sealed monsters did not come early. All of us who have been sealed can only be moved in their own regions. She is not affected at all, she can walk around at will. Because of this, she knew all the monsters in the fog forest. Several old monsters seemed to take care of her and treat her as her descendants. Luli, so is this why you are afraid of her? Black Dragon sounded lightly. Luli looked at him, showing a strange smile. Black Dragon was panicked by Luli. Brother, don't you want to push me out and send it to death? How can that? Am I like that? That's good. Black Dragon was relieved. Black Dragon, I have 2 messages here. A bad news, a good news, which one do you have to listen to first? Heilung was froze, thinking about it. Listen the good news first. The good news is that you see that Peiqi's belly is so large. It is estimated that it is pregnant and the strength is greatly reduced. Really? What about good news? Luli Hui smiled. The good news is that the child in her belly is probably yours. Etc. What did you just say? She is pregnant. The child is still mine? When the Black Dragon heard the words, he first stunned, and then lowered his head. Don't be tangled, after all, that is also your descendants. You 2 talk about it and see how to deal with it. If you can give birth, if you don't want to raise it, you can also send it to the oasis for other monsters to help take a look. Luli thought that the Black Dragon was troubled, so he comforted. As soon as the words fell, the Black Dragon suddenly raised his head. Who said no? Sheng. You must have given birth. A few more. The more the better. Black Dragon changed his face instantly, and Luli couldn't. I was still dying just now. Shouldn't it be stimulated? Where did Luli want? The Black Dragon was not troubled at all, but was too excited for a while without speaking. The Long tribe has a long life and strong strength, and is a leader among all ethnic groups. However, the group of the dragons has not grown. The most fundamental reason is that the reproduction ability is too weak. A couple of dragons need to be tens of thousands of years to reproduce their offspring. It's longer lucky. So each dragon egg is more precious. The dragon egg stolen from the altar of the worship at the beginning was the treasure of their Shadow Dragon clan. It is said that the dragon egg was the descendant of the previous Shadow Dragon chief, but it has not hatched. Out of curiosity, Black Dragon stole the dragon eggs, but was chased by the whole family. Later, he was sealed around the fog forest and never went out. Until encountering Luli's big devil. Luli took away the dragon egg and gave the dragon egg 8. Originally, the Black Dragon intends to take the dragon egg back to plead guilty after getting out. He is probably unable to go back in his life. He heard Luli said that Peiqi was pregnant, and he immediately thought of it. The original dragon eggs have been eaten and can no longer be recovered. If you bring a dragon egg back again? He quickly told Luli. After listening, Luli looked at him like watching a fool. I'm afraid you don't know. Tell you that the pig is a mammal. The Black Dragon heard the words, and his face was ashamed. This? Peiqi and others were a little impatient and urged. Okay, I can do it if I don't come again, immediately. Luli woke up with the Black Dragon. If you want to live, I will handle it later. You just need to nod with your nod, understand? Black Dragon nodded helplessly. To this day, it can be done. Luli turned around and walked near Peiqi. Peiqi big sister, things are like this. Black Dragon is my younger brother. It stands to reason that the younger brother has made a mistake and should be settled. But my person likes to be expensive and does not like to fight and kill. What's more, if you are pregnant, it will not be good if you hurt your child. Let's mention what you have, I will try. Before Luli finished speaking, Peiqi suddenly interrupted him. Wait. You just said I am pregnant? Luli nodded. Yeah, you see your stomach is so big, this is the sign of pregnancy, don't you know? Peki suddenly became a little panic. I don't know. I thought I was just eating fat. Luli blinked, scanning back and forth on the two guys in Heilong and Peiqi. One does not know that he is a father, one does not know he is a mother. Good guy, these two goods are simply Wulong and Phoenix.